Alright, so today I'd just like to do a quick demonstration of the application that I'm calling Trip Tracker. Really at its core, it's a currency conversion app that allows for users to budget trips to foreign countries and see how much the cost of those trips is changing as the foreign exchange rate fluctuates to the US dollar. And so here at our dashboard, which we see once we've logged in, we have four items. In the upper left, we have top destinations, which are just the most visited destinations across the entire site. In the lower left, we have the form to add a new trip. So this would just be if we're looking to budget a new trip to a different country. And then in the lower right-hand side, we have our past trips. These are just trips that have already been completed. We can cycle through them and see all of them. And then up above, we have our current and ongoing trips. So these are just ones that are either planned for the future or we're in the middle of. In this section, we have the date that the trip is planned as well as the current exchange rate. And that exchange rate will show up in red if the recent change has been unfavorable to the user, or green if it's been favorable. We can also click on any one of these trips and it'll get us to a page like this. And so from this page, we can see more information about the trip. On the left-hand side, we just get some more information about the country itself. We can see the native name, the capital, the currency name, as well as the start and end date for this trip. We do also see a list of all the planned expenses that I've input for this trip, and then beneath that we can see the conversion. There are two conversions here. The first is the current cost in dollars, and the second beneath that is the cost in dollars if the user had exchanged their currency on the date that they input the trip into the site. And that current conversion will show up in red if the cost has gone up, or green if the cost has gone down. I am also able to add more expenses to this trip. Expense name is optional, but we do need to include a cost, a category, as well as a date. So if we do that here, we can add that expense. It gets added to the list, and the pie graph gets updated. And I do also have a line graph available for the historical change of exchange rate. Kind of counterintuitively, at least to me, a downward trend in this graph would be unfavorable to the user. And then lastly, I have in list form the exchange rate data, which I obtain from an external API approximately every 3 hours. And that's all that I'll be covering today. I will include a link to a longer version of this video which does go into a little bit more detail, so feel free to check it out and let me know if you have any questions.